panoramic camera category has always had one major problem. On paper, it sounds almost perfect. Press the record button once, and you can capture everything around you, front, back, left, right, above, and below. But there's a catch. That footage usually isn't ready to use straight out of the camera. You still need to sit down at a computer, open editing software, deal with that strange spherical view, select the angles you want, add keyframes, and essentially direct the entire shot yourself. So panoramic cameras make capturing footage incredibly easy, but they often push all the difficult work into post-production. And if that problem can't be solved, well, what's the point? Just leave. Last year, DJI stepped into this market with the Osmo 360, bringing a large sensor and impressive image quality into a camera small enough to carry in your pocket. The results immediately put it among the best in the category. Now, the second generation has arrived, and the specifications have been pushed even further. But beyond the upgraded numbers on the spec sheet, has DJI actually managed to make panoramic shooting better? Let's find out.
A quick shout out to my tech partner from China for sharing this video. A big thank you for making this possible. Hey everyone, it's Maiky from techmaiky. If you love staying updated with the latest gadgets, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss out our exciting tech content.
Starting with the design, the second generation keeps the overall look of the original model and continues to support the same universal accessory system. You'll still find the Osmo 360 branding prominently placed on the side, while the shutter button is now marked with a red circle, making it much easier to spot. The front microphone has also been made noticeably larger, but the biggest practical improvement is something users will definitely appreciate. The lenses can now be replaced by yourself. With the first generation, damaging a lens meant sending the entire camera to DJI for servicing. With the second generation, you can replace the lens yourself or send it back to DJI and have it replaced for free. The battery has also received an upgrade. Capacity has increased from 1950 mAh to 2150 mAh, while compatibility with the previous generation battery has been retained. In real-world testing, recording in 8K 30 FPS in panoramic mode now reaches around 101 minutes, which is about 5 minutes longer than the previous model. There's another improvement that might sound less exciting, but is actually quite useful: file management efficiency. On the first generation, a 96-minute recording could be split into 7 separate files. With the new model, a single recording can last up to 30 minutes online, and the total of 101 minutes of footage produces just 4 files. The storage system has also been optimized, meaning that with the same storage capacity, the second generation can provide more usable recording space. That's a small change, but definitely a practical one. Now that we've covered the exterior, let's move on to the more important changes: the shooting experience. Looking at the specifications alone, the resolution hasn't increased on the second generation. The frame rate, however, has gone from 50 FPS to 60 FPS. At first glance, that might seem like a pretty minor upgrade, but in practice, the second generation has removed several limitations that affected the original. At its core, the camera still uses the same square-shaped CMOS sensor. Compared with rectangular sensors found in conventional cameras, a rectangular sensor placed behind a panoramic lens would waste a significant amount of the sensor area around the edges. A square sensor, on the other hand, can capture almost the entire circular image projected by the panoramic lens, minimizing blind spots. And that additional 10 FPS actually addresses an issue that's easy to overlook. Most smartphones and computer displays today operate at 60 Hz. With native 60 FPS footage, every frame can line up directly with the display's refresh rate on a 1-to-1 basis. There's no need for the system to interpolate frames or drop frames during playback, which helps eliminate those subtle moments of stutter and uneven motion. The second generation also improves dynamic range. In the 8K 30 FPS standard color mode, it can now reach up to 14.5 stops of dynamic range. That means scenes containing both very bright and very dark areas can produce smoother and more natural transitions between highlights and shadows.
If you're not specifically shooting fast-moving action, this mode is definitely worth using more often.
And when it comes to nighttime footage, the second generation introduces the new SuperNight Scene 2.0, which supports recording in 8K at 60 FPS. Compared with the previous generation, noise reduction has been improved and the overall image looks cleaner and more refined. And if slow motion is your thing, there's plenty to play with here as well. The camera itself can natively record up to 4K at 240 FPS. But if you're using a Mac powered by an M-series chip, AI processing can be used to create an 8x slow motion effect, which theoretically gives you output equivalent to 4K at 1920 FPS. Traditionally, the whole idea behind panoramic cameras was simple: capture absolutely everything first, then let you take over as the director during editing. The problem is that this approach comes with a pretty steep learning curve and can take a huge amount of time. The second generation takes a different approach. DJI has added a feature that sounds simple but can genuinely save you a lot of work: subject follow. All you have to do is register your face and the camera can automatically recognize you and keep you locked in the frame while you move around. There's no need to constantly think about composition or reposition the shot. With a single click inside DJI Mimo or Stereo, you can export a traditional flat video with yourself as the main subject. For everyday recording, this can cover almost every situation you're likely to encounter. This generation also tackles one of the biggest built-in challenges of panoramic cameras: stitching. The AI stitching algorithm has been upgraded, while close-range subject recognition has also been optimized. You can clearly see the difference when comparing the first and second generations. Another new addition is a picture-in-picture feature that reminds me of the iPhone's ability to capture the front and rear cameras simultaneously. Since panoramic cameras are essentially designed to record the entire environment, enabling the dual-lens display through the app lets you capture both the moment itself and your genuine reaction at exactly the same time. It can create some really funny or impressive results, and honestly, I really like this little feature. Beyond the actual shooting experience, the second generation also feels much more independent and versatile. It's basically ready to use whenever you need it. Personally, I hardly carry a memory card anymore because the second generation comes with 105 gigabytes of built-in storage, which is worth around 200 yuan. There's also a new FC or fountain capture function added to this generation, although it's rumored to be relatively easy to crack. Simply attaching the camera to your phone can automatically awaken it, allowing you to quickly review your footage and export it whenever you want. It's definitely more convenient than before. But the feature that I think could make this camera genuinely indispensable for many people is the audio system. The second generation works directly with DJI Mic audio, allowing you to record sound directly. That makes the whole setup much simpler and more convenient. Battery compatibility also remains unchanged, so if you already own the previous generation, your existing spare batteries can still be used. There's no need to throw them away or replace your entire battery collection. When it comes to accessories, the quick release system has also been upgraded to a two-way magnetic interface. This makes the camera compatible with accessories from the Action series as well as nano audio accessories, giving you even more flexibility. And finally, there's something I want to talk about because I think panoramic cameras have been misunderstood for a long time. Whenever people mention panoramic cameras, the conversation usually starts with 360-degree recording. Capture everything first and worry about framing later. It can make the technology seem like its only purpose is to record more of the world around you. But after using 2 generations of this camera, my perspective has changed. With traditional photography and video, the moment you press the shutter, you need to have everything figured out. You have to think about composition, framing, and where the subject should be. In that moment, you're no longer simply the person using the camera, you have to become the photographer. The original idea behind panoramic cameras was actually to free you from that pressure. Instead of worrying about the perfect composition while you're experiencing the moment, you can capture the entire scene first and then go home, relax, and decide how you want to frame and present it later. That concept makes perfect sense. The problem with the first generation was that while it took away much of the pressure during shooting, it simply transferred that burden into a long and sometimes tedious post-production process. And that's where the second generation feels different. The base version of the DJI Osmo 362 starts at 3,299 yuan in China, which is roughly 362 pounds in the UK, and around $483 in the US. And that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.